Okay, and we are back. Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a very, very busy week. I spent part of the week in Texas, in a little town called Glen Rose, Texas. Shout out to them. They are a dinosaur town, right? So, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to try. There you go. Yep, Dinosaur World. That's where I have been, right? I have a 3-year-old grandson that is just enamored with dinosaurs. So I took him and we went to Glen Rose, Texas, and met some very, very nice people down there. Shout out to the Best Western Dinosaur Inn, right? He had a fantastic time there. And then we went and saw, which I've never seen these before, and I hope I got a picture of them. I just came in like an hour ago, so I haven't had time to look at my camera. But they have these rocks that apparently were formed by glaciers, and they're perfectly round, right? And they're huge. They're like as big as this house, and they're perfectly round. Never seen anything like that before. So it has been a very interesting week, and I got a new camera bag. Yay! I had been on the prowl for one, and just happened upon a really good deal, and so I'll share that with you. Let's see who all is here. Lewis, how you doing, bud? We back, Sly. Yeah, we're back. My condolences to your friend. My grandson is 3, and I cannot even begin to imagine the pain that they're going through. So, yeah. New camera bag, Sly. You betcha. You betcha. Love you, Sly. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for the prayer. Always, Lewis. Always. Are you not going to stick around to see the new bag? Or are you going to catch the replay? And then Roy popped in. Good day, Sly. From down under. Right? And Jeff says, what have I missed? Not much. Just going over the week. The dinosaur world. Yeah. Took the grandson, and it was about a 6-hour drive from his house. And then we came back and we stayed at my house, which was about 5 hours. So that's a little bit long in a car for me, and a little bit long for a 3-year-old. So we're going to keep it to about a 4-hour radius from now on. Funnel Fest. How you doing? Welcome. You are new. I'm glad to have you, bud. I recognize you from Peter's. Yeah. Roy says camera bags are very personal. You know, they are. And because I like everything so small, and because I'm not real big, I wanted to kind of try this one, but they're kind of pricey. And so I found a really good deal on one. I'd been looking at them. It's not the color I wanted, but it's close, right? It's like my third choice. It's close. So Uncle G says, happy Friday night. Uncle G finally, after 6 days, he finally got his electricity back on today, right? So he is a happy camper, but he's having to throw all his food in his refrigerator away, which was kind of smelly, and he's having to vinegar his laundry because it had been sitting in there since Sunday, or Saturday, I guess. So, yeah, he's having to go buy all new groceries and try to get that moldy smell out of his house. So, you know. And there's Scott. Hey, how you doing, Scott? There's Carlos saying setting up new office and lurking. Good. It's always fun to set things up the way you want them. You know, I like doing that kind of thing. Once or twice. I don't like having to reset up something every single time you move it, right? Which is what prompted me to get a second camera, because I didn't want to have to keep taking and redoing the M6 every time. Which if I didn't have that second camera, which here, I'll just show you what it is. This second camera if I didn't have this, I wouldn't have a second camera tonight, because I did take the other M6 with me, and like I said, I've been home maybe an hour, so I don't really have had time to set everything up again. Basically, I came in and I forgot to turn that light on, and that's okay. So I think I got most of them on. You know, it's always good to miss one or two. But so yes, I hardly ever use this shot, because to look at the computer, I have to look all the way over here. But it's there if I need it, right? So I kind of prefer this shot, because then you're just right there with me. There's Kyle. I am so glad you're back. I, for one, am tired, but too hot to sleep. Do you not have power? I know you had said something about a storm rolling through, and I have been told that we have more storms on the way. So we will go live as long as we have power, right? This time of year, it's real hit and miss. June is kind of tornado season, bad storm season. Next month, they'll all be gone. It'll all be over with. So Jeff says, hey Sly, did you end up looking at the Black Rapid straps? Cannot wait to see your new bag. Was it a think tank? So yes, I did. I went to the friend of mine, and I went to the camera store so I could actually touch and feel and, you know, all that good stuff. And I did look at the Black Rapid. And Jeff, you're bigger than I am. So I want you to think on a miniature scale, right? And because the Black Rapid system I looked at had a pretty good size clip thing on it, my camera's not that big, right? And so, okay, you ready? You ready for it? I ended up with, of course, I've got it weighed down a little bit heavy, but I ended up with a Wandrd Provoke Light, right? It's the smaller version of they've had the Provoke out for a long time, the 21, 31, and now they have a 41. And this is the little baby brother to the 21. This is they say it's 11 liters, but it holds more than my, oh yeah, this, it is a little bit bigger, not much, but it is a little bit bigger. The camera compartment on this one, on the Wandrd, is a lot bigger. And it has a roll top that expands up, so if you need to keep something in there, you can. But I like this. I like my Vanguard bag, but it's just, it's kind of getting dingy, if you know what I mean. It's kind of getting soft in places it shouldn't be getting soft in. So, and you know, girls like to change up. For some women, it's purses. For me, it's camera bags, right? So I don't know. I just really like this thing. I was going to get a blue one, but I found this green one for stupid cheap. So I end up getting green, but it's really comfortable, and it's pretty small. It's not too big. I do have it weighed down right now because I've got everything but the kitchen sink in here. But this is amazing, right? First I ordered the tech bags, and to be honest with you, I ordered about 12 different tech bags, and I sent a bunch of them back because I'm kind of tactile, and I either didn't like the way they feel, or they just weren't set up for what I was wanting. So I got the small and the medium Wandrd tech bag, and I really like the way they feel. And I think this is the same material because it feels really good. And the padding on the back feels really, really good. Now I was carrying my camera bag and a cooler backpack, right? So, and it was hot. It was very, very hot at Dinosaur World. So I got a little winded here and there and had to take a few breaks, but hopefully I'll get a video out of it. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this is my new bag, and like I said, I got this stupid cheap, so if I end up liking it as much as I did my Vanguard, I'll probably spring for the blue one. That was my first choice in color. They have an orange one that's kind of very, very interesting too. So, all right, I'll get back to this. Enough of that. uh, Kyle, I think, is Heaven's Devil. Friday Night Sly. The boys must be gaming, right? How you doing, bud? Hey, 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 Sly. Sounds like you had a lot of fun with Little Man. I did, and I'm pretty proud of myself because I kept up fairly well. Okay, we toured the park once with the 2 backpacks, and then I went and put them in the car because I was, I was feeling it. Right, it's about a mile up a hill and back around, and then we cooled off for a little bit, and then we went back and did it again without the packs, and so I kept up with him pretty good. I think he did. Of course, now I understand he's 3, but he had no packs, and I tried to get him to carry one of them, and they were just both too heavy for him. So, yeah, but I kept up pretty good. Hey, Woody, how you doing? Just popped in to say hi. It's getting past my bedtime on the East Coast. Yes, I am. I realize I'm kind of late for you East Coasters, but I slid in to home base here maybe an hour ago. So yeah, I really haven't been here too long. So for me to do it any earlier probably would not work. I had to get Little Man back up to his dad. So yeah. Roy says you can't have too many cameras. Thank you. I completely agree with that sentiment. And actually, this camera right here, Canon every once in a while has a really good sale. And when they do, I kind of have to pick them up, you know. But I am immersed into this M system because they are so small, right? Now, one of the things I did not count on, a lot of the M lenses, I don't happen to have one here handy, but they have a switch on them. I got to show you this. Okay, so let's go back to this camera. Okay, so they have this button. You can see that right here. Okay, and you have to unlock these things and turn them on. Maybe you can do the lens on it. There it goes. Okay, so you have to unlock it to get it, and hear it click to get it to be on. Okay, otherwise no amount of focusing from the camera will get this thing to focus. I kind of forgot to do that, so some of the shots didn't turn out so good. But you have to remember, it was like 100 degrees. Okay, I was melting. So but I do really like these little small tiny cameras, and so I ended up this camera. It's an M camera. Anybody want to take a guess as to what this is? It's very inexpensive. I'll just put it that way. And I don't need, it hooks up just like the rest of my cameras, right? So yeah, take a guess. Kyle says, I got power. I think I'm just hot-blooded. Okay. So your air is on. Okay. That's good. It doesn't look so little. The lens, this thing's tiny. Yeah. It's 15 to 45. It's just their little kit lens. I've actually got the 22 on this camera, which it's a 22 M mount, right? And then on this camera, I've got a 24. So I like both of these lenses. I just didn't think to take, well, the one I took was the 11 to 22. And I think I did have one of these in the bag, but I never used it. So when you're running and gunning with a 3-year-old, you really don't have time to change lenses because you got to keep up with them, right? And so I cannot tell you how many, I've already started kind of thinking about the video, but I cannot tell you how many times he said, come on, Granny, come on, Granny. So I'm sure I'll have a lot of editing to do, but that's okay. Kyle says, have you tried Tenba bags? Yes. When we went to the camera store, they had it was just, they had a whole room devoted to nothing but bags. And so I did, because I was thinking about the Tenba Fulton 14 liter, and it was way too small. The camera area was way too small. I do carry a little too much stuff, right? I really need to figure out how to streamline a little bit, because I took my action cameras and never used them. What else did I have that I didn't use? Well, the other lens, which this doesn't weigh anything. So every camera I buy comes with a lens, and it's the same lens. So I've got like 3 of these. But yeah, I didn't ever change lenses. So I took a lot of stuff I didn't need to, and I was carrying all this weight when I really probably didn't need to. And, you know, so, but yes, the Tenba Fulton, I think I would have to go to the 16 liter. It's on my list. I actually had bought a Wandrd bag from Amazon for this trip. And it was, I cannot tell you the name of it, to be honest with you. But it did have the roll top. It was very, very similar to the Wandrd. And Amazon delivered it after I had went to work. And they set it, they didn't even put it on my porch. They set it on, there's like a pillar thing, post thing, big brick thing, when at the beginning of the porch, right before you come up the steps, big post. They set it on top of that, right, which I'm right on the street, and so it didn't last 15 minutes. When I got notification that it was here and they sent a picture, you know, I immediately looked at my security camera and it was already gone. So it didn't even last 15 minutes. So I called them, and they're like, oh, you have to wait 48 hours. We can't give you a credit, yada, yada. And so I said, would you please look at the picture? If you guys would have delivered this to my porch, it might have lasted more than 15 minutes. And she said, well, if you're not home, how do you know it's not there? And I said, I have a security camera. Would you like me to send you the footage? And they refunded it immediately. So, go security cameras, right? Roy says, we're all getting soft in places. Yes, well, there's a huge age gap between 3 years old and me. And even though his legs are short, they're mighty. Roy says, which bottle has the coffee? Well, I don't drink coffee. I've gotten kind of hooked on Monsters, right? And I limit myself to 1 a day. Note to self, do not drink a Monster in the heat. That just is not a good combination. Yeah. And just says, love your bag. That's the main thing. It meets your needs and comfortably sits well. Yes. So a guy named L something. It starts with a J. L Jeffy? No, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, he does hacks for these Wandrd bags. And one of them is a load lifter that you can put on the strap to get the load to sit up a little bit higher. And I definitely am going to revisit that video because it did sit a little low. Now, it may have been because I was carrying a backpack cooler too, that, again, overpacked. I had so much juice for the baby, and he didn't even drink them, right? I had water in there for me, and I had a Monster. And yeah, don't drink a Monster in the heat. That's just letting you know that. Roy says, safer if it doesn't look like a camera bag. So I just kind of like it because it's got the roll top, and it kind of has that, I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of like the looks of it. The only thing I wish it had, it doesn't have an admin area. So when we got to the hotel, it was late, and the clerk guy, super, super nice guy, we were talking about stuff, and wanted to give him one of my cards, and I had to, you know, dig through and find the card holder. If it had like just a little thing on the front, maybe something, yeah. But I'm not one to start complaining. Okay, I do like it, and it was stupid cheap, so I'm not gonna. Yeah. Jeff says, I was thinking what bottle holds the whiskey. Haha. Yes. Well, there again, heat, immense heat. Australia gets really hot, right? Yeah. Alcohol would not be good on it when it's that hot. These people who drink alcohol going down the river and stuff when it's 100 degrees, yeah, bless their hearts. There's Lewis. How you doing, bud? Hey, everyone. He's probably lurking too. Lewis is always up to something. He's always got something going. Love that guy. Roy says to Jeff, it's big bottle for coffee and small bottle for flavoring. There you go. Yeah, see, I don't like the taste of coffee, and I have this, that's why I don't drink alcohol, I just don't like the taste, right? Every great once in a while, they'll come up with something that, that I actually do like. Believe it or not, I kind of like rum and cherry vanilla Pepsi. I know, strange combination. And then Pepsi quit making cherry vanilla, and I haven't actually had any rum since then. So, you know, the lock seems irritation. This thing, this lock, I'm assuming is what you're talking about. It really, if you're not upside down and backwards, it really slides out of there pretty easy. It's not too bad. And you really don't get in this very often. One of the things that sold me on this bag, which my Vanguard has this too, but, and no comments, okay? I just got home. I haven't had time to clean this out. So don't want to hear it. Where's the thing? Okay. Let's go to this one. There you go. Get it up here where you guys can see it. Maybe. Okay. So this thing is the bottom of that roll top, right? And so anything that you need to get, and you can just put, this is cool. You can just pull these open, voila. And there's my first aid kit, right? Which 3-year-old, okay? First aid kit. Their knees seem to find the pavement a lot, right? Like just walking up the curb, he fell and skinned his knee, and before we could get in the hotel room, he fell on the carpet and got the same knee. So yeah, poor little guy. But microphone, spare lens, and then this one, I think, yeah, this is the little one. It's got my batteries and whatnot in it. I don't really use a side access. There's something else in there. Oh, the rangefinder, or electronic viewfinder, I'm sorry, and the action camera pouch. So I don't really use side access. So, and if I did, the camera's so small that it would probably fall through the door, but it does have side access. So if I can get it open here. So I have it set up to where I have access to my spare batteries, right? So, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like the looks of it, and it does only have, get you back on here. It does only have one pocket because it has that side access. It only has the one pocket for a water bottle or a tripod or whatever. And I do usually like to carry 2 of those little Manfrotto Pixie things because they just fit my hand good. So where are you going to put your bottle, right? But honestly, if the thing's in your hand, then the bottle could go in the, yeah, okay, yeah. We figured it out. And there's my Brady. Hey, how you doing? You must be off work. Are you off work? It's kind of early for you to be off work, but I hope you are. Roy says, last M camera I used was a M50. Okay, well, it's not an M50. So it will do clean HDMI out. Give you a hint. Kyle says, I have a Timba DNA limited edition messenger bag. Wow, that's really cool. I did see the DNA line, and I don't remember, because I looked at a whole bunch of different camera bags, and I don't remember that one. I do know that I've seen it, but I don't remember too much about it. But we went to a place called Bedford's, and they have a whole room devoted to nothing but camera bags. So every brand you can imagine, plus some I had never even heard of, they had. And I did actually get to look at a bunch of them. I looked at the Wandrd there, and I had kind of decided against it. And then I found this thing for 75 bucks. So, yeah, there's that. Peter's here. Happy Friday. Hey, everyone. Glad you made it, Peter. Did you get something to eat? Go to the little boy's room? Everything good? Funnel Fest says, after a while, monsters start giving me palpitations. Quit them. Back on coffee. I limit myself to one a day, right? So far, they have not given me any heart issues at all. But I do find if I don't eat before I drink one, it upsets my stomach. So I always make sure to eat if I'm going to drink one. El Jeffy reviews, El Jeffy, pronounced Jefe, meaning the boss in Spanish. Also, his name is Jeff. I think, isn't that the one that does the earbud things? I think El Jefe, I think it's El Jefe. But I think he's the one that does the earbud things. This is a guy that does he does Wandrd hacks. And it's L something. And I think it starts with a J. I don't know. Maybe. Peter said, I didn't know Grant didn't have power for that long. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. Well, Peter, I haven't talked to you in like a week. A lot has happened. I would have mailed him an ice cube, right? I offered, my daughter offered, we both had power, we both had air conditioning, and he chose to tough it out. Now, he likes to camp, and so he had camping lights and what have you, and he just chose to read. So he just kind of laid around, and he went to work and stuff, and then when he'd come home at night, he'd have to obviously get dinner, and then he would just sit and read. So he got caught up on his reading. Yes. Roy says, I don't drink alcohol. I get confused enough without it. Yes. Well, there would be that, but, and I'm a lightweight. So, if I have one drink, I'm already feeling the effects. So yeah, I don't know. I don't, as a rule, like alcohol because it burns my throat. So, and I typically will not ingest anything I don't like. So I don't care how good of a cook you are. If you put asparagus in front of me, I'm not going to eat it. Do not like it. So someone was telling me they make a fantastic tuna salad. Don't care. Don't like tuna. Roy says, bags within bags. Well, yeah, because I'm kind of a, I had to change batteries, actually twice. So, I do carry a lot of spare batteries. I make sure everything's charged up before I leave. And, a friend of mine, shoots pictures, not video. And her battery lasts her forever. But shooting video, the batteries just don't last. I'm lucky if I get an hour out of one. So, yeah, I carry a lot of batteries. I have a really big SD card in that camera So I haven't had to change SD cards, but I think that's all that's in there is batteries and SD cards. Yeah. Actually, there might be an ND filter in one of them. But it fits, I think it fits the 15 to 45, not the 11 to 22. So, yeah, go figure. Roy says, does it have a pocket for passport and ticket? It has. Now, on the bigger bag, it actually has a hidey pocket in the back for a passport. This one has, let's see if I can show this to you. Oh, it has a pocket up here, okay? And that is big enough for my cards, right? But it's not, I don't know if you can see how big, it's not really big. Yeah, my passport would fit in there. Yeah. And it's not hidden. Yeah, that's not really hidden if yet. Well, I guess if this was cinched down, well, no, it's not really hidden. But the bigger bags have under this trolley strap, it has a zippered pocket. I just lost. There we go. Okay, under this trolley strap, which the bigger ones have one too, there's a zipper right here, and so that's really hidden by the strap. I don't really travel that much where I need a passport. Like I said, I've got that a little heavy right now, but yeah, traveling state to state, you don't need a passport. It's only if you leave the country, and I've left the country once, hence why I have a passport. But and I don't fly that much. I usually drive. But I am going to limit my trips with little man to 3 or 4 hour radius from his mother's house, right? Yeah, 6 hours is a little bit too long. Is it a Polaroid Super 10,000? Yes, that's exactly what it is, right? Instant pictures, and I'm using it for video. Go figure. Briss says, yeah, I was blessed with a short shift tonight. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, enjoy your evening then. I've got, so did you find all the dinosaur pictures? I left a whole slew of dinosaur pictures on her kitchen table. Roy says, there are many different types of bags as there are people that need them. Yes, there are. And a lot of people like the messenger style bag. My friend that shoots photography, she likes the messenger style bag. And I asked her, I said, when it gets really heavy and you've had to walk 10 miles, doesn't it get heavy? And, kind of making you lopsided? And she's like, yeah, that's when her grandson is older and she just has him carry it. I'm like, okay. Roy says, happy Peter Friday. Yes, well, Peter has been going live every day of the week, right? And I have been so busy that I haven't been able to chime in. So the last couple of days I've been on a 3-year-old schedule, so which is very little sleep. Okay, as soon as he hears the birds chirping in the morning, which is like 5:30 a.m., he's awake. And then he'll be like, "It's daylight, Granny. It's daylight. We need to get up." No, we don't. But needless to say, at the hotel, he heard the birds chirping. 6:30 in the morning, he's got Granny up, and we went down, had breakfast, and which was good because we went to, we were there by like 10:30, I think. So before it got too hot. Lewis says, I'll have to look into him. Yes, El Jefe does the headphones. Okay. This guy is kind of scraggly looking, and it's L something. But he does want the Wandrd backpack hacks. Yeah. Kyle says, I got a V-mount battery system for my Canon R7. Cool. I don't know what that is. I would think that you could mount 2 batteries, like in a V. That's just a guess on my part, but and I don't know how you would plug that into the camera. Enlighten us, Kyle. I didn't even know they made those. So I've got everything here set up on dummy batteries, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But if I could put 2 batteries on one camera, that would, oh, yeah, that would be amazing. Jeff says, you do not carry external speed light or LED light for night low light video. What about spare batteries and charger, touch and D filter, CPL filter? If you do, would the bag hold this out of interest? So I was going to tell you about this week, but the bag kind of overshadowed everything. So I got, yes, Jeff, and to answer your question, if I know I'm going to be out at night, I have all these lights. This is my latest and greatest, and I love this thing. Ulanzi, you know, I'm kind of a Ulanzi freak. And my other lights are Ulanzi too, but they don't have covers for them. This has got a silicone cover, so it diffuses the light really, really well. And this thing, that's low, right? Yeah, that's on low, and that'll just blow you out of the water. So I love their lights because they're rechargeable, they're small, right? Really lightweight, and I think this thing was like 20 bucks. So it's RGB. It does all the color spectrum, plus it does a whole bunch of kind of cool effects. Heck, I don't even know what they all are now. There's like a police car and a fire truck, what's the difference? I don't know. I guess the police car has blue and the fire truck is just red. But it does lightning, and it has a whole bunch of different effects too. So yes, to answer your question, if I was going to be shooting at night, and I knew I was, then I would take some of these lights. My cameras all have it's not a cage, it's just a little arm. So because they're flip ups, and so it gives you 2 cold shoes, and so this just fits on so nice to the side, and then the microphone goes underneath. And so yeah, and yes, that bag will hold it. My other bag would hold it as well. That one of the things that is different, my other bag, even though it's smaller, this front, and they're made very, very similar, right? It has this, where'd that go? It has this pocket right here, right? This pocket is big enough for my gimbal, okay? On the Wandrd, it is not. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Until I get to actually use it a lot and carry it on a daily basis. So far, it's a thumbs up. We'll see. We'll see how wear and tear on it. I think there is one ND filter in there. Like I said, it's for the wrong lens. It's for this one. And no, I do not carry a speed light. I have one that I have not used in probably 2 years. It would be more for photography. And so far in the last couple of years, the only pictures I have taken for like still pictures have been during the daytime. So yeah. But yes, if I learned my lesson when I went to see Peter, I did not have a light with me, and I was trying to use an action camera. Yeah, bad combination. But I have learned. I am teachable. Roy says, pockets are like buttons on camera. You can't have too many. Isn't that the truth? So my new camera does not have buttons. And I have not had time to read the owner's manual to see how to put it on manual. I have figured out how to upset some things, but not a lot. So you get what you get. Funnel says, I think my electrolytes were out of whack. That was probably more the problem than the monsters. My blood pressure went high. Turns out I was not getting enough salt and potassium once I started more. So monsters are really high in sodium, I think. I don't know. My children laugh at me because it's called a Monster juice, and it lists all these vitamins it has, and they think that's just hysterical that I think I'm getting vitamins from a Monster, but it seems to kind of, I don't know, kind of makes your brain a little less foggy, and I don't know. But I wouldn't drink more than one a day. And I do know some people that drink 2 or 3, and yeah, not a good thing. Roy says, messenger bags for a shoot, but backpacks for hiking. Yeah, every time I get out and video something, I've got this thing on my back for 2 or 3 hours, right? And so I think, and like I said, I had a backpack with the camera stuff, and then I was one-arming the cooler backpack, which after about an hour and a half, I actually switched them because the cooler backpack was the heavier of the two. And so I actually put it on and one-armed the camera backpack. So, again, packed too heavy, took too many drinks, took probably too much gear in the camera bag. You know, it is what it is. There are certain things that you have to have. You have to have that little ouch pouch, okay? If you're going to go anywhere with a 3-year-old, you have got to have Band-Aids. That's Neosporin and Band-Aids. That's all I'm saying. So his little ouchie, you know, and he even said, after he cried for a little bit, he even got up and said, I'm okay, you know, and took off trucking again. So he's a trooper. Final Fest says, the blood pressure came right in line. Would probably be okay to drink the monsters again. Salt. Turns out not getting enough salt and potassium. Okay. So, they have a Monster juice, and it actually lists what vitamins it has in it. Thank you very much. And I guess they're not as potent as the regular Monsters. Not 100% sure about that. I've never had a regular Monster, right? In fact, I don't exactly know how I got... Oh, yes, I do. A guy at work got me drinking Rock Stars. And the vending company raised the price. So the Monster was cheaper. And the one I like is the Pacific Punch, I think. I don't know. But I've never had any heart palpitations or anything like that. So if I did, I probably wouldn't drink it. Just because I don't like things when they make me feel funny. So, yeah, if I can narrow it down and pinpoint what it was caused by, I will quit. So, yeah, I just don't like it when I don't feel like myself, you know. So, and I can tell you all about blood pressure issues, except mine's the opposite end. Mine runs too low. So, Peter says, tell him it's not daylight, it's an advertisement. Yeah, we did have a lot of that. And it was funny because in the hotel, you know, they have cable. I guess it's cable. Dish, it's something. They have a lot of channels. And I read their little cheat sheet and find the cartoon section. And I could not, nobody was playing Bubble Guppies. And he insisted on watching Bubble Guppies. Well, I didn't have any way to play Bubble Guppies, right? So, I think he ended up watching Mickey Mouse or something. But, yeah. He gets so used to things at home. And at home, I can cast to my TV or cast to my daughter's TV. And in the hotel, you can't do that. So, but he's 3. He'll learn, you know. I'm going to start making that a monthly thing that we do something, right? Lewis says, Sly, thank you for encouraging me to be happy. I adore you. Lewis, we all adore you, right? You're family, dude. So, yes, I definitely want you to be happy. And you're very special to all of us. Roy says, V-mount is a big battery, too big for some airlines. Okay, well, Roy, that's my battery. So it's tiny, right? The ADD took like the, what was it called? The LP E6 or something. I don't know. I can't remember now. But the ADD battery was probably twice that big. This thing is just not very big. Yeah. So they don't last very long. But that's okay. I know how to change a battery. It doesn't take that long. It's just annoying that you have to do it. You know, you'll be kind of... I do watch my battery level because we took a trip to a cave where it was really dark and everything, and I didn't notice, but the camera had shut off. The battery had died. So I am used to the 30-minute record limit. I know all about that, but the batteries dying are an irritation. Yeah. Roy says, I like LEDs for jewelry and video only. Most don't have accurate enough color for my use. Well, I don't know how accurate it is, but this thing goes from like way low to way high. So you can stop it anywhere you want to. So, I mean, if you wanted like, I don't know, 5,000, 5,100 Kelvin, you can stop it there, right? So I just am hugely impressed with these. Now, they do take a long time. They took 10 days to get here. So I don't know where they come from, probably China. But yeah, it did take a long time to get here. I only got one because I wanted to see if I was going to like it. I do like my other Yolandi lights. I have two that are just 3 shades of white, and then I have 2 that are RGB. And I will say I do like this one better. I have a bunch of LED lights, you know, here, but as far as being portable, now I did learn kind of a trick. You can take, I have a lot of power banks, and you can take a power bank and run one of these LED lights on the stand that have to be plugged in. You can plug them in with a power bank, and voila, you're mobile, right? But as far as like actually vlogging with something, yeah, I'm kind of enamored with these little Yolandi lights. I hear there's a company called Loom, I think, that has a really good light, but they're really expensive. And what I have found when I have bought really expensive stuff is I either lose it or drop it, or it seems like when I buy cheap stuff, it lasts forever, right? But when I buy expensive stuff, either I can't keep up with it or, yeah, I don't know. So, back when I was plumbing, you know, plumbers and electricians all have a brand that they like plumbers like Rigid. And so you buy all these really nice tools and people steal them. So after about the 3rd set, you get on a Harbor Freight and you buy the Harbor Freight stuff and nobody steals it. It'll last forever, right? So, yeah. Photography, it's kind of the same thing. Orlando News. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Hello, Sly. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while, Charles. Kyle says, I'm able to plug my camera, monitor, and video light in it. Okay. Well, that's cool. You need to make a video about that. And Kyle, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Okay. I've missed you the last couple of weeks, so I'm glad you're back. We can talk storms, right? Jeff says, wow, love the light. What was the name of that light again? Also, does it hold the iPad as well? Does it hold the iPad? Oh, yeah. The bag. The light is a Ulanzi. Let's see if I can focus on that instead of me. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Why is it not gonna do it? There it goes. There it goes. Okay, Ulanzi VL60. And the bag, I do believe it holds an iPad. I have my two huge computers, so I don't really do anything out on the field. I just wait till I get home. Let's do this again. There we go. So yes, it has got a compartment here, and I think that would hold a pretty good sized laptop. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that maybe a 14-inch laptop. That looks pretty good size. Now, it does go to the end of this. It's like you can see what I'm saying. It does go like all the way down. There's not like a false bottom like some of them have. So, but the bag itself has got a pretty good bottom on it. As I spill everything out. So yeah, I think you could probably put a 14-inch laptop in there. I don't know about a 16, but and you could definitely put an iPad for sure. So and somebody did a what's the name of their place? Sold Out Media. Her husband is a little bitty guy, and he got a light, and that's kind of, I was kind of wondering how little is he type thing. He might be just a smidge taller than me, but I probably weigh as much as he does. So, I'm gonna say he's about my size, right? She's kind of a big gal. And so when they make videos, they always do these really big packs. In fact, they did one on the PGY Tech 1Mo Lite, which is a really thick bag, right? It's so thick you can turn your camera like on its end in there. But I don't do well with thick bags. They tend to like turtle me over. So but he got one of these in orange, and they did a video on it, and she put a laptop. She likes to see how much she can stuff in a bag, and she put a laptop in this front compartment, which this is really thin. Okay, you got a little bit of room up here, but where the camera cube is, it takes up the whole bag. So trying to put anything in this front compartment, there's not as much room here as there is on my Wandrd. And that's okay. It's got a bigger camera cube, so it's kind of, a trade-off. So, we'll see. Kyle says, I have a small rig 99 WH V-mount battery. Is it like huge? Kyle, this is the first I'm hearing of a V-mount, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking that up tonight. Lewis says, have a wonderful weekend. Love you too, Lewis. Thanks for coming in, bud. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, I'm just glad you're here. Roy says, using menus is much slower than buttons. Yes, I would agree with that. I'm so immersed in the Canon ecosystem that I can pretty much fly through the menus now. But you're right, the buttons are a whole lot faster. On the M6, you just push that front button, and you can change apertures and with the back, and it is a lot faster. Dylan, buddy, what's up? Hey, thanks for coming in, bud. Dylan is a Grand Theft Auto, what do you call it? Aficionado? What do you call it when they're really good at something? Yeah, he has perfected that game. I don't know anything about it, but it looks fun, right? Is the new camera a Fuji S20 Mark IV? No, because I'm a Canon girl. And Peter, you already know what it is, so you don't get to guess, right? Lewis says, maybe I'll get a new camera for my birthday, Peter, in August. Ooh. Well, Lewis, I got to tell you, this little camera right here is pretty close to what you already have. So the only difference, really, is that it has clean HDMI out. And Canon had it on sale, so it was not expensive. So I know you're kind of on a budget, but still, yeah. Peter says, cool, Lewis. Happy for you, Tiger. Lewis, you have a great camera. What's it called? What's it called? Magic Lantern. Turns that camera into where you can stream with it. Yep. Let's see. Kyle says, I drink Ghost. Okay. I think, I'm not 100% sure if I've seen that or not. Because I was thinking I had, and then I think what I'm thinking in my mind, I think it was called Rain. Not Ghost. But are they better than Monsters? Peter says, take plenty of pics of your grandma. Yes. He's talking to Lewis. Those will become priceless to you, right? I was very, very, very close to my great-grandmother, and I don't think I had one picture of her, and I think I've lost it. So, she died a long time ago. But, yeah, I really kind of wish I still had it. Now that I have, because she had white hair. Now that I have the white hair, I kind of want to compare, But, and Peter's asking, what's Ghost? I'm pretty sure it's an energy drink. Yep. Kyle says, an energy drink recommended by my doctor. Okay. Well, I'll have to check those out. I have not seen that I can think of. Because, when I make a beeline for the one that I drink, does Quick Trip carry them? That's usually, they have them 2 for $5. Casey's has them 3 for $7. So I'll check into it. Roy's talking to Peter. Don't ask me. I thought Pepsi was new. That's funny. So Pepsi, well, I guess they all do it, but they come out with these different flavors, and then as soon as you get hooked on them, boof, they quit making them. What is up with that? Jeff says, Lewis, if you get a new camera for your birthday, you will not need to start back making more videos to share your talents and your story. That's right. Lewis is very, very talented. I don't know if some of you new guys have watched some of his videos, but the boy can sing and dance, right? And he's got the moves, and he's just, I miss that he doesn't do that. He made a lot of shorts there for a little bit, but I really enjoyed him. So Lewis, get back on the ball, buddy. Roy says a V-mount is 10 times the size of that battery, right? Yeah, it might be a little heavy, considering I like everything small and compact. And, it's funny because there was a lot of people at Dinosaur World, and not one single person gave me a second glance. It's because my camera is pretty small. It obviously, if you look at it, it's a camera, but it's not. It's very unassuming, right? So, there was some other grandmothers taking pictures and stuff, but Nobody even batted an eye, you know. I had to put it down a couple times when people were walking towards us because, you know, some people don't like to be on YouTube, and that's cool. Peter says, Lewis has a lot of talent. He is quite the performer. Go, Lewis. Yes, he is. I hope he never stops singing and dancing because he is good at it. Carlos says, for the architecture needs out there, I always move into historical spaces, and this one's amazing. Totally restored building built in 1886, very old for Pasadena, was a stagecoach showroom. That is cool. Yes, I love old buildings. At one time, I tried to buy a house that was circa 1900s, and it had lead glass doors. It had all the original woodwork. It had all the original doors, interior doors. And this house had doors, and somebody took them off at one point. But you can see where the hinges and stuff were. So, yeah, I was kind of sad about that. But the grand staircases and, you know, I would love to have a house like that. But they're few and far between now. So that's really cool, Carlos. Congratulations, bud. Can't wait to see it. You're going to have to make a video. If for nobody else, for us, right? Roy says, small rig, have some cute, small cube-like LEDs. Yes. I actually... I have... They're little bitty cubes. They're not, you know, they're not very big. I actually got them for the action cameras. And they're okay, but they're not near as bright as what this is. So, you know, I did a video about flashlights once upon a time, and I got a new flashlight, and it just blew me away how bright it was. I mean, it would light up the whole backyard, right? Just woof, like airplane landing lights. And that's kind of how I feel about this thing compared to those little bitty cubes. I've got two of them, but they're not anywhere near as bright as what these are. Peter says, is there pictures, Carlos? They can be art for the wall, right? There you go. See? Inquiring minds want to know. The light is the Yolandi VL60 for Jeff. Yes, it is. Jeff says, that's a large bag and holds lots of little compartments in it. Can I ask what the name of it is again and what did it cost? So it is the Wandrd, which apparently Wandrd is a company that was started by two brothers, and they didn't have a lot of business sense about them. And so they were making a good product, but it wasn't really going anywhere. And so brother number 3, who is the financial guy, stepped in, and he knew about marketing and all this stuff. And so he kind of set him on a path, and ever since they have just grown and grown and grown. But they don't like vowels. So it's WANDRD. They left, and then provoke is PRVKE. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that, but you know, and then it's the light version. So the light version, the way you know it's the light version, I'll just give you a little rundown. Okay. So up here, their logo is laser etched, where on the 21, 31, and 41, it's actually a logo. It's actually a piece that glues onto the bag, like a rubber piece or something. And then I told you about the hidden pocket under the trolley strap. Oh, yeah, these are magnetic. Kind of cool. But underneath here, when you open it, on the bigger bags, it's black inside. And on the light, it's the same color as what the bag is. So if you get orange, your inside's orange. If you get blue, your inside's blue. but on the 21, 31, and 41, it's black. So that's kind of real quick. If you look inside the bag, you can tell if it's the light or if it's one of the bigger ones. I think it retails, I know it does, for $239. Okay. I didn't pay that. Okay. Yeah, I got a really good, I got a steal on that thing. So that's why I have one in green. That was not my first color choice, but for, I only paid $75 for that. So for the price compared to $239, I got a green one. There is something about being thrifty. The 21, which is not really that much bigger than that. I don't know why they call that an 11, but the 21, it's $219, but you have to buy a camera cube. And you can either buy the standard, which is just fits that bottom part, or you can buy what they call a pro, which goes up into the roll top part. So, and you can take all the dividers and everything out and make it just like a regular backpack, where it doesn't, like, the roll top part will go all the way down, right? So I probably will never do that, but you can if you want to. Options there. And the 21, like I said, the 21 it's an inch thicker. So where that one's, I think, 5.5, the 21 is 6.5. And then I think it's only an inch taller, and I think it's the same width. So it's not that much bigger, but it's $219, and then you buy the cube extra, and they usually package it with 2 straps and a belt thing for like $2.99, I think. But just I like the Wandrd as well. It looks very sturdy. So the Wandrd has been my go-to bag for a couple of years. In fact, this one's the 42, which I really, really like. Okay. And this one has been through quite a bit, but it's not, let's see if you can, this way. It's not very big, right? And because it's not very big, I got the 46. Not 100% sure where it is right now. It's around here somewhere. And the 46 on me was too big. It just wasn't comfortable. So that's the main thing, because I do wear these for hours at a time. They have to fit me and they have to fit comfortably. I throw them in my truck. Now we'll see how that Wandrd or how the Wandrd does, because it is pricey. That Wandrd bag's only like $90, right? It is not expensive, and it has held up pretty well. It's just starting to, like, little things. If you've never seen the bag before, you probably wouldn't notice, but I notice, right? And it is getting softer with age, but it was just time for an upgrade, more or less. The Wandrd that I ordered that got stolen, it was a front opening, and I do kind of like my bags to open from the back. I don't know why, because I'm never really in a spot where somebody could steal something, and I think I would feel it. I don't know, maybe not, but all my bags are rear opening, so obviously I was not meant to have that bag. So one of my neighbors has it. Meh. I hope they make good use of it. Thanks, Peter. You're a champ. I really need to practice my Australian accent, but it always comes out sounding Irish. Carlos says, yes, Peter, the architect who restored the building has old pictures of the building all over the walls, horses and all. That is so cool. I would love that. Yeah, I would. That's just like my thing, right? I love old architecture. Roy says, I'm old enough to remember Grand Theft Auto. Well, that's what Dylan plays. So I think has it been around for a little bit, because it's still around. But he's really good at it, and he has a huge following, and he's just a really cool guy. So Peter says, cool, Carlos. I think history is very cool. Yeah, I love, when I was a kid, they had a place called the Mayhew Mansion in Tulsa. And of course, I don't know the story behind it, other than the family moved out and nobody, it just went into ruin. And then a developer bought the property and tore the mansion down. But before they did, they made it into a spook house for a couple of years. And then it just really got in disrepair with vandals and everything. And I was fortunate enough, I actually got to go through it before it became the spook house. Of course, I was trespassing, and we won't talk about that. But it was super, super cool. There's a couple of places here in Muskogee that are that way. They're just really old. Some of them have fallen into disrepair, and some of them the people have kept up. You know, Muskogee is a really old town, so we have some really old houses. Jeff says, I drink water only when out and about. Yeah, I've learned my lesson, Jeff. 100 degrees, monsters do not mix, right? So it's all good. Roy says, using V-mount, you run a camera, field monitor, and whatever else on one of the batteries, very mobile. Okay. But if it's big, if it's 10 times the size of that battery, I don't do big. And next time I will take 1 water and 1 juice and call it good. Roy says, I think I saw Narnia in that bag. Right? Yeah, there was a little too much in there. And I mic'd up a 3-year-old, so we'll see what happens. I have a green bag. I think it's mold. Well, that was green, and yeah. So maybe you won't be able to see the mold, right? With my luck, it'll be black, right? So Jeff says, I love it when you get a great bargain. That was really, yes, it was. That was like, I don't know. You know, Lewis, Mr. Camera Junkie, has gotten some steals, right? And you know, it was just meant to be, right? So when I saw that and I saw the price, I'm like, yes, please. Probably should have bought 2. Roy says, if I get back to Europe, then I'm going to make a point to shoot some old buildings. Yeah, I think America is so big. I don't think we travel like the rest of the world, right? A friend of mine lives in England, and they will like take a 2 or 3 day vacation to France, right? Which is like mind blowing. Okay. A friend of mine married a girl from Russia, and they vacation in Spain, right? Which is just mind blowing that you guys move around a little bit more than we do. You know, we might go the next state over, next state under, but maybe 3 states away, you know. But the only time I was out of the country, well, I've been to Mexico and Canada, but that doesn't really count because they touch us. But I went on a cruise, and so I got to see the Caribbean, so that was kind of cool. Roy says, put a bag of ollies for the tyke. I don't know what an ollie is. Maybe a lolly? And he needs no more sugar. Okay? But you know, when he sleeps, it's like he's out, right? And earthquake couldn't wake him up. Okay? So he just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and then he's out. Right? So I think I had talked to my daughter like before we left, and I was telling her, you know, we're kind of, I'm checking out. We're trying to get in the truck, and within 10 minutes, I sent her a picture and I'm like, yep, that didn't last long. He was just out cold, right? So lots of energy, and then they just crash. So lots of fun. Roy says in London, they think nothing of going to lunch in Paris. Right. Yeah, it was just like they just hop on a train and just go, you know. And it's not like here, if you get on, we have Amtrak, right? And it costs a fortune. And they, like, Oklahoma, nothing comes to Oklahoma. Okay. So you have to go to the city and then take we're called a branch line. You take a branch line down to Dallas. And then from Dallas, you can go a little bit east or all the way out west. And then you have to go up and around and come back down the East Coast, like to get to Florida, right? So it's so not convenient. Everybody drives here, but we don't have a lot of charging stations. So everybody drives gas cars. Electric vehicles have not really made it real big to the Midwest yet, but I hear they're coming. So tell me what, oh, yes. Okay. Put a bag of lollies for the tyke in the bag. Yes. He doesn't need any more sugar. Thank you. Lewis says the U.S. is much bigger than Europe. A weekend vacation to another country is driven to in just a few short hours, right? Yeah. My friend in England lives in the very middle of England, and so when we have plans for me to go visit. It was supposed to happen when I turned 60, and everybody was still kind of in the 19 thing. So now we're shooting for 65. But I'm going to stay every day. We're going to go either north, south, east, or west, and you go all the way to the coast. Half a day's drive, right? So that to me just blows my mind, because for me to see an ocean, you know, we have the Gulf south of Texas, but for me to actually see the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean is a 3-day drive, right? 2 days, two hard days, and 3 days, 8 hours a day, you know. So I'm quite a ways from an ocean. So that to me is just kind of blows my mind that a whole country can be that small. I don't think Australia is very big either. I don't know how long it takes you to drive from one end to the other, but it seems like I am not good at geography, but it seems like Australia is smaller than Texas. Okay. I could be wrong. Jeff says, this is a favorite of mine, taking photos of old architecture and research the history, especially old churches. Yeah, unfortunately here, churches, if they go into disrepair, they don't last very long. I don't know why that is, but houses seem to last longer than churches. Usually if a church goes in disrepair, it's pretty much toast really quickly. So I don't know why that is, but I love old buildings, houses, you know, anything with a lot of woodwork in it. I'm not really a fan of the modern, but I know a lot of people like modern, so I'm not down on it or anything. I prefer the richness of the wood and stuff, as opposed to the clean lines of the modern. Roy says Australia is about the same size as mainland USA. Really? See, I thought Australia was a lot smaller than that. Wow. Okay. So for you to go from north to south, I think here it would take, I don't know, probably 15, 20 hours maybe to go all the way from Mexico to Canada, and to go across, I don't know. I don't know how long it would take. I used to know. I used to drive from Boston to LA quite a bit. But, and it seems like it took us 3 days of steady driving. So, yeah, I don't know how long it would take. Uh, and Lewis says, I think Australia is much bigger. Yes, if it's the size of the U.S., then yes, it is much bigger. I don't think England's that big, though, because if we're going to go, if you start in the center and you can drive half a day and get to a coast, it can't be that big. So, yeah, Australia must be a lot bigger. So if Australia is the size of the U.S., then why are they not like a power country? Don't get me started on politics because I know nothing. Roy says, about the same here. Fewer people, more desert. Okay. Well, I like the fewer people thing. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Australia was where England sent their convicts. Is how Australia got colonized. Not 100% sure about that. Seems like I've read something about that. Jeff says, Australia is large and yet so much to see. You could travel and still not see everything. From Brisbane to Sydney is about 10-hour drive, give or take. Okay. That's cool. So, 10-hour drive. So from here to Minnesota is 10 hours. From Oklahoma. So, and then to get up through Texas is probably 10 hours. So, it's really funny because when I went to Florida, Florida is like this big, but it's this long. This long. It took like 8 hours just to go from the bottom of Florida up to the top. But yet you can go across in 2 or 3 hours. So, very strange state. Roy says, we only have about 25 million people. Wow. And you're the size of the U.S.? I may have to move to Australia. Jeff says, I think England fits in to Queensland? Okay. Most major cities here are about 500 miles apart. Wow. Yeah. No, not ours. Yeah. We have a town. I don't know how this came to be, but it doesn't matter where you go. In the U.S., we have a town every 10 miles. I'm not sure what's up with that, but there is. And so if you take the back road highways, you have to stop every 10 miles because not stop, but like you'll be going 70 and then you have to slow down to 35 to go through the town and then back up to 70 and then 10 miles down the road, back down to 35 again. It's very annoying. So, yeah, if I can, I take like turnpikes and toll roads and just because it's more of a straight shot through. I would rather pay the $10 than have to stop every small town. But anyway, guys, we are approaching midnight, which is 1 o'clock for the East Coasters and 10 o'clock for the West Coasters. So, and I have no idea what time it is for the Australians. I can't keep track of what time it is here. Kyle in Oklahoma City, he's on my time. So, yay, Kyle. But thank you guys so very much for being here again. And I'm glad I got to kind of show off my new bag. And I'm sure I'll arrange and rearrange before it's all said and done. That was just a quickie. I got it. I wanted to put everything in it and just go. The last 3 days have just kind of been, I've just kind of been running that way. So it's just been kind of a really quick, when you're with 3-year-old, he wants all your attention. So you don't have a lot of time to really think about other things. You just kind of have to put it in and go. And so I'll spend some time with it this week and try to refine it a little bit. And I'll let you know in the coming weeks if I like it as much as I think I'm going to. Roy says, most of the places I like to go, you have no cell phone coverage. I really probably wouldn't mind that too much, right? There'd be no advertisements. Just says, yes, England needed to find a new colony after America became independent, so Captain Cook was set out to find new land. Okay. Scott, you made it. Right at the, you just snuck in, right at the tail end there. Good to see you though, bud. You'll have to watch the replay to see the new camera bag. Roy says 3 p.m. in Australia. 3 p.m. on Saturday. Yes, so you're ahead of us by a lot. Yeah, so that's cool. Well, guys, we will do this again next week. And I have no idea what the week is going to bring, right? It seems like I fly best when I fly by the seat of my pants. If I have plans, and for some reason they don't seem to come to fruition, so if I just set out and just start driving. We didn't plan this trip, but maybe a few days before we left. So it should be a fun video. It'll be a long video because there's so many dinosaurs. But I'll try to get that up sometime this week. And I love you all. Thank you so very much for coming in. And Roy says, yes, Saturday. Yep. Jeff says, Great Britain and 2.5 times the size of Texas. Yes, Texas is big. Very big. And Lewis is waving goodbye. Everybody have a good night. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Friday.